Hey everyone, it's Yayuna, and today we are going on a 3-part series. I'm going to post it over the next 3 days, and it is going to be our little trip to Camp Bowie. So get ready, bring your good shoes, bring a hat, some chapstick, and some water because we're about to go hiking. Come on, I'm bringing you. Alright guys, we found some trees. We have a pecan tree at my house, so I believe this may actually be pistachios. Do you see them? Let's get a little closer. I don't want to touch them. Ooh, dust storm. Yep, pistachios. See, there's some on the ground. Pistachios. Yep, pistachios. So this is where pistachios come from, for those who don't know. Very cool. After driving 19 miles from the little town of Bowie, Arizona, we finally reached the entrance to Fort Bowie. It is a round-trip 3-mile hike that we will be going on this day, and here you are seeing a little bit of the beauty that we're going to be encountering on our walk. So drink it in, enjoy, look at the beautiful Arizona sky. I had my husband laughing because I said that the Simpsons have nothing on Arizona skies. This is the real deal, folks. All right, let's go. So Gary and I are trying to figure out, is this the road to Fort Bowie, or is that the road to it? Is that Apache Pass? We shall see in a moment. What do you guys say? Go ahead and comment below. I say it's Apache Pass. Gary says that's the road we have to go on to Fort Bowie. Pavement ends. Uh-oh. Looks like Gary might be right. Oh, Fort Bowie parking 1 mile. Yeah, so we might not have to go up there. So it was back there. So we're on our way to Fort Bowie, Arizona. Find out what it's all about. And this is our first time coming here, so we're all exploring it together. Aren't you glad you came along? There's the ocotillos. Aren't they pretty? Century plants. Century plants die after they give that big shoot off. And down there is a dry riverbed. Alright everyone, we are at Fort Bowie, and we're going to be getting on the trail pretty soon here to walk to it. So I wanted to read a little bit of information to you about it, and then we're going to go. I am in a long skirt and some walking shoes, and thankfully I have my good socks to give good support, so let's see how we do. This is a 3-mile, it's just a round trip 3-mile hike, so it's not too bad. So, but there's information right here and I wanted to share it with you guys, so 1 second. So this area, Apache Pass, Fort Bowie, is a low divide separating the Chiricahua Mountains from the Dos Cabezas Mountains. Dos Cabezas means 2 heads. There's a mountain around here where it looks like it has 2 heads. It provided a corridor where people and goods were moved. It became a strategic point in mid-19th century American expansion. It was home to the Chiricahua Apaches for hundreds of years. During the 18th and 19th centuries, when this region belonged first to Spain and Mexico, this pass was identified a landmark, and it contained critical features for travelers and their animals: wood, water, and grass. So we're going to be going down this path, and we will follow it and go to Fort Bowie and go through the pass. And up there, I think that's the part of the Dos Cabezas up there at the top. So, are you ready? Let's get going. Come on. Let's go. Walk to Fort Bowie. This gentle trail will guide you 1.5 miles through a historic valley and up the ruins of Fort Bowie. This is what it looked like in 1894. And this is what it should look like now, today. So, alright, we're walking. I'll show parts of the trail to you guys. Not the whole thing though. I'm gonna enjoy some of this with my sweetie. So we'll walk together in a few. So this ruin was the home of Jesse L. Millsap, 1863 to 1929. He was a local prospector and well digger. For years the structure had been unidentified until a park visitor said that as a boy he rode with his dad in a Model T Ford to visit his uncle at this cabin. And Mr. Millsap perished when a dynamite charge exploded below him while digging a well. And he is interred in the Bowie Cemetery 15 miles north of here. So, and then up there you can see where the road is. So people used to come here to visit a family member here. Very awesome. All right, let's keep going. Follow Gary. This is what a dead prickly pear cactus looks like. Amazing how the water flows through it to keep it alive. This is what it looks like on the inside. Can you imagine having to take this route as your ancestors did, walking? You know, horses were brought to the Americas by the Spaniards, so they always walked and carried stuff. Can you imagine taking this walk? I am so glad I live when I live now. Well, we are halfway to Fort Bowie. Up ahead we see a site we're going to make it to. But right here what you see is called the Park Campsite. In March 1854, Lieutenant John Park of the Topographical Engineer Corps led a survey party in search of an all-weather route for the Transcontinental Railroad. After a march of 55 waterless miles through Sulphur Springs Valley, the party entered this area, Apache Pass. They camped at the spot described as a small triangular valley with an abundance of grass and wood. They stayed here for 2 days and rested, enjoying the Apache Spring and the friendly Apaches. But a year later, Park found another pass which is to the north of this area, and in 1880 the rail line was completed through Park's Railroad Pass between Wilcox and the town of Bowie, which is in, I believe, that direction. Alright, so we'll keep walking and I'll show you more sights as we find them. It's pretty beautiful out here. So February 4th, 1861, 2nd Lieutenant George Bascom and his detachment of 54 men encamped 200 yards east of here. Their mission was to find Cochise, who was a Native American chief, and recover a kidnapped boy and return livestock assumed taken by the Chiricahua Apaches. So this is the area. And for 11 years there was bitterness between the Apaches and the people because of this misunderstanding, because more than likely it was had not occurred. There's no photograph of Cochise in existence, but this is a picture of George Bascom. Hello. Hello. It's beautiful. And Gary was thinking, if you look, there's a tree in between, but there's 2 stacks of wood, and Gary thinks there might be markers for grave sites right there, because there's a tree right in between and 2 sets of deliberately placed wood, and it does look old, so we never know. All right, we'll keep walking. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys something. Okay, I've taken a picture of these before, but do you see the stem coming out? So while hiking, I saw a gentleman that had a really cool walking stick. He gave it to me, and if you look at it, he said he found it here, and it looks like they have a whole bunch of them, and it is cut up like a walking stick. It's, you know, rounded off. It's been used for walking, but if you look at the markings, and you see it gets thinner as it goes up to the top. If you look here, looks like it came from this type. This is a yucca. And if we walk over here, they put names of plants out here, so that helps a lot. So this is called a soap tree yucca. Yucca elata. So I believe my walking stick is made out of yucca. And it's nice and sturdy. It's lightweight though, it's not very heavy at all. I mean, I can, no problem with 2 fingers, so that's not bad. Station ruin. So this was in place for 3 years. 8 high foot walls. It was a kitchen, dining room, sleeping rooms, and a storage room for feed and weapons. And the stage stopped here for a change of mules, a moment of rest, and what passed for a meal. Bread, coffee, meat, and beans for 50 cents. And during the Bascom affair, Butterfield employees and passengers sought refuge here. And on quieter days, a burro carried water in 2 10-gallon wooden kegs from the Apache Spring to the station. So, sectional tensions caused the Southern Butterfield Overland Mail route to be discontinued in March 1861. And look, somebody put a little place to sit under the tree right there. So what used to be inside, a tree's growing in there now. That's all that's left. So as you're walking up and in, this would probably be the kitchen and eating area. This looks like it might have been a sleeping area. I don't know. Here's the doorway. And at the end right there, that looks like a fireplace. So it might have been a sitting area, might have been a sleeping area. Not sure. Isn't this beautiful? I'm going to be honest, I miss Michigan. I miss green. But there's nothing like the Arizona skies and the mountains. And maybe the U.S. American history out here is a little younger. You think of the Wild West, you think old-timey. But actually, it's out east where you guys have more of the old American history. But this is the Wild West, It's newer. It had a lot of excitement to it. A lot of bandits, a lot of gold, a lot of moving, a lot of seeking your fame and fortune and treasure. And it's through places like this that our ancestors came through. Amazing. So right here is something called the Wallace Capture Site. So, and then as you go right here, that's where the Bascom Cochise meeting site was, about that little boy that had been taken captive and those animals. And then over here, coming up is the Butterfield Road, right here. And then this place is called Helen's Dome. Let's keep going. Well, everyone, thank you for joining me on part 1 of what's going to be a 3-part series on our hike to Fort Bowie. Today is 2 days after. I'm going to be honest, oh my goodness, did I get tired. I did not have the right shoes for this, but you know what? It was so worth it. Honestly, even though my legs, oh my goodness, they hurt so bad. It was totally worth it. So I hope you stay tuned, because I will be producing and sharing the next video within the next day or so, okay? So until then, thank you so much for coming with me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And please feel free to share. The more you share, the more people see this, and I want people to come along. Well, thank you. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day, morning, evening, whatever. Just have a good one. Bye. Love ya. Mwah.